Hello, it's Wednesday, the 10th of November. It's challenge day, and this week we've got After the Wildfire. We've got charged hunters to help us out this week, which will be quite nice, especially on early levels when we can use Shane to blow stuff up. I'll get straight on with it, and we've got junkyard dwellers to start. This is a really tough map. You've got auto spawns from the gate near the start and one from the container at the back of the map, and you've got to shut both of them, and they both take 2 turns each. Once you shut one of them, a spike will spawn in one of these 3 locations marked with the X's. With the spiker you can block it, but obviously because it needs 3 spaces and one of your people will be on the gate shutting it, you need to use some walkers as well. So if you can build up a nice stun wall in this area from the walkers which are coming from the rear of the map, or from this gate, that does make the map considerably easier, because you then don't have to kill the spiker at all. Can be quite difficult to set up though, and takes a lot of time to time it correctly so that your stun wall doesn't die whilst you're keeping it stunned, whilst also dealing with the walker which spawns next to the person shutting the gate. As with most auto spawns, there is 4 spots that you can come out on, so you can build a stun wall around the person who's opening the gate as well. And you've got 2 options. You can either shut this gate first, or you can go all the way to the far right and shut that gate. Something else to mention is once you shut one of the 2 gates, not only does the spiker spawn, but you get 3 walkers spawn at the top left next to the car, and 2 spawn to the far right next to the container. So just be aware of that as well, depending on which one you're shutting. A lot of people find the far right one is easier because you're further away from the spike when it spawns. But I find it's easier if you're building a stun wall to do it from the starting position. With Spy now, as long as you can get Princess charged up on the first turn, it shouldn't take too long. Sorry. It shouldn't be too difficult, but it will take a long time. And you've also got to kill all the walkers if you've made a stun wall for the spike and get to the right hand side. Alternatively, you could possibly try it with Mercer, and let the spiker spawn and hope to be able to kill it quick enough. But it is a horrible map, and I will be using Spy on it probably quite early on, just to get it done. Next map is more fun. It's Abandoned Camp. You've got to open the 3 containers. There's the boot of the car at the start, and then the 2 boxes to the right hand side. There's no auto spawns. There is an incoming, but it's a great map for Beta and Huntsman Daryl, keeping that threat down whilst you open the containers. Once you've opened all 3 containers, a tank will spawn on the next turn, out of the tent to the right hand side. If you've got Pizza Glen, or any scout really, when you open that final box, you can run past the tank and not have to deal with it, so it's not too much of a problem. And this bottom crate will also spawn 2 normal walkers to the left hand side of this bottom tent. Sometimes they spawn within reach of the person opening that box. You want to open it from the bottom line to the right. Gives you your best chance of not being hit by one of the spawning walkers. Or use Pizza Glen to open it, and then you'll be able to run far enough away every time. So the way I usually do it is the car, far right, and then the bottom crate. I really enjoy this map, and it'll be a good one as long as you're using threat reduction. This one can be a bit trickier. It is Forest Farm. You've got to find 3 correct crates out of the 6 that are out to choose from. Start with 2 or 3 walkers on the map, and then you get a single auto spawn from the top barn for the first couple of turns, and then you'll start getting a spawn from the bottom right after that as well. So the way I find this easiest is using beta to herd and Pizza Glen to open, and getting to the far right as quickly as possible and getting those 2 crates open, and then working your way back away from the auto spawn. I'm sure there's other ways of doing it, but that's the way I found the most the easiest and the quickest. If you're using Spy, fills up pretty quick, and it will take a long time. So good map to practice your herding on. Okay, next one is Blind Corner. So called because this first corner is a blind corner, and there's another one at the end. Start with some firewalkers and 1 tank on the board. It's got an incoming, no auto spawns. So if you can keep the threat down, it's not too bad. It's a good one for using Beta and Huntsman Darryl together to be able to run backwards and forwards along this first bit. Although it does sometimes get a bit blocked with walkers coming towards you. I was using this team you can see here with a Winter Harpoon last time. Passing the charge points round and keeping the threat down with Rick. Probably going to give it a go with Mercer lead, either a Bruiser and Huntsman Darryl or Beta in there, because Huntsman Darryl just takes everything down with Mercer in lead when you're prowling. The red X's are 2 very useful spawn blocks if you're creating threat. The first one here on the line, keep an eye on that. If you have got this area blocked with stunned walkers, make sure you keep an eye on that threat counter to move back into this position, with into these 2 positions to stop anything spawning behind you. Once you've got round the corner, use this top spawn block. You will get an incoming to the right of you, and obviously some at the start, but it takes a while for those to come out and get you. Once you're in this position, you kind of want to start making a move as quickly as possible. Sometimes you can avoid killing the tank, especially if you're using this sort of team where you can root it and run past it. And as I say, be careful round this corner, because on this video where I've taken a screenshot from, there is actually one round that corner. You can always use a survivor to pretend to run around a corner and see if the line goes red to know if there's anything there. And once you're at this point, if you get an incoming, they come in on the far right hand side and just to the right of Rick. So try not to get caught there if you can. The next map is called Secret Factory. It's a killer walkers, but there are horrible blind corners in the middle. Walkers start right on top of you, and there is a spike. Spy is going to make it pretty easy. I would suggest going down the bottom left corner, creating a stun wall with your assault and fire, and just stand there and kill everything basically. It was a really tough map before. Shouldn't be too bad this time with Spy or Spy with Mercer in there. It will speed things up considerably. And just watch out for any flying corners, anything sneaking around to get you. But yeah, shouldn't be too much of a problem this time round. Quite a good one if you wanted to use Shane to clear the initial walkers that are on top of you, seeing he's charged. So that could be a good tactic if you're looking for something different. Not a great map for melee though. And lastly, we've got Approaching Horde. This one does have a little bit of a trick to it, and similar to Supply Run last week, you start with 4 walkers on the board. There's no incoming, so you can take your time to kill them. Once they are all dead, nothing will happen until you start working on the gate, where walkers will start spawning from the left-hand side of the map, and after a couple of turns from up to the left of this van. Good technique for it is, before you start opening the gate, stand your 2 survivors in this spot, and one walker will spawn somewhere in the middle left. And the next turn is this spawn with 1 spike and some normal walkers. Stun the normal walkers and root the spike, or cripple it, depending on what team you're using. Next turn, another spike comes out. So again, cripple it or root it, get charged back up. And then the next turn, run all the way to the right, and none of those walkers that spawned originally will be able to get to you. And then it's just a case of making sure the 2 that are spawned up by the van aren't going to get the person on the gate. The reason I say stand in this position is because if you don't, you get a walker will spawn there on the turn after you start working on the gate, and that can be a bit annoying because it will be able to reach in those couple of turns. So that's all the maps. It's not the nicest of map sets, and Junkyard Dwellers in particular is going to stop a lot of people. It's a very frustrating map. Hopefully won't be as bad now, as I say, but that's the one to look out for. And as I say, as always, I'll try and put up some commentary videos showing a few different teams early on, and I'll try and get some high level commentary videos done as well to show you how I'm trying to get through this challenge. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it helps, and I'll see you soon. Thanks for watching.